1 kilometer straight up. The wind at the top will move the building 2 meters sideways, and somewhere inside, an elevator car is climbing through a shaft so tall that steel cables would collapse under their own weight. So engineers replace them with carbon fiber ropes the width of a licorice stick. The hydraulic pumps scream as they push concrete to heights never achieved before, over 800 meters. The wind at altitude howls continuously, a constant presence engineers must design around, not against. 50 degrees Celsius summer heat forces, concrete pours at night when temperatures drop. The desert sun bakes the structure relentlessly, while winds at altitude create massive temperature differentials across the building's surface. For the crane operators working at 600+ meters, the ground has disappeared. They're threading steel beams through wind that would ground commercial aircraft, operating in shifts so short that a weather window closing means abandoning the cab mid-lift. The tower cranes will reach a record 618 meters, higher than any construction crane has ever climbed. When completed, it will exceed 1,000 meters, becoming the first human-made structure to reach a full kilometer. Over 3 times the height of the Eiffel Tower, almost twice the height of One World Trade Center. 173 meters taller than the Burj Khalifa, the building will weigh over 900,000 tons. And yet it's being built on soft coral limestone that has the density of sand. The rock is at least an order of magnitude softer than Manhattan bedrock. At heights greater than 500 meters, horizontal forces increase dramatically compared to ordinary buildings. At 1,000 meters, this difference becomes even more dramatic. A crack in the foundation, a miscalculation in the wind loads, a single failure in the structural core. Structural failure at these heights would cascade in seconds. 9,000 workers on site, thousands of residents, hotel guests, and office workers in the completed tower. $1.2 billion in construction costs, $20 billion in surrounding development. Gone. This is Jeddah Tower. This is the story of how engineers are building the first structure in human history to reach 1 full kilometer, and the political purge, technical nightmares, and 7-year pause that nearly killed it forever. The building will consist of over 167 habitable floors, with the world's highest observation deck located at floor 157, and will exceed a height of 1 kilometer. To put that into perspective, it will be almost twice the height of the USA's tallest skyscraper. This height was originally supposed to be 1 mile, 1.6 kilometers, but had to be reduced because the geology simply couldn't support it. Below, a massive concrete foundation system supports the weight of all that height, with a 5-meter thick raft foundation supported on 270 board piles, each 1.8 meters in diameter, that go to depths up to 110 meters. Each foundation pile is about the width of a small room and extends deeper underground than a 35-story building is tall. 2-story elevators will zoom people around at speeds of 10 meters per second. The elevators travel at 36 kilometers per hour, fast enough to get a speeding ticket in most school zones, straight up through a kilometer of vertical space. But the Superlight Cone Ultra Rope is a completely new take on elevator hoisting. Made of a carbon fiber core surrounded by a unique high-friction coating, it weighs only about a fifth of a similar conventional steel rope. At this height, steel cables would be too heavy to lift themselves, so the elevators run on something that looks like flat black licorice. The waterfront site consists of silty sand at grade, up to 2 meters thick. Beneath that is a 45 to 50 meter thick layer of porous limestone, full of imprints of shells. Underlying that is a 2 to 10 meter thick layer of mudstone and gravel. This is among the worst possible geology for the world's tallest building. Soft coral rock that compresses like wet sand under load, just 1.25 kilometers from the salt corrosive Red Sea. Before the tower was here, this was not considered a place that people would live. We are creating an independent city so that you don't have to leave here. Each cubic meter of concrete used in the base of this tower must withstand pressures that would crush ordinary buildings. But as the tower grows, concrete pumping becomes a logistical puzzle. The most advanced pumps operate at extremely high pressures, And even then, their practical limits are around a few hundred meters. In late 2017, the owner of Kingdom Holding Company, which owns 33% of the tower, and the chairman of the Saudi bin Laden Group, which owns 17% and is the primary contractor, were both arrested as part of the 2017 Saudi Arabian purge. Building owner JEC halted structural concrete work in January 2018, with the tower about one-third completed. The project's key financial backer was detained at the Ritz-Carlton for nearly 3 months. Construction stopped for 7 years. Al-Walid was released from detention on January 27, 2018, following a financial settlement. In May 2024, the architect confirmed that construction would resume. Construction officially restarted in January 2025. The structural system is simplicity itself, without columns, outriggers, floor beams, spandrel beams, and vertical transfers. The tower employs a revolutionary buttressed core system with 3 wings flanking a tight hexagonal central core of high-performance concrete. The tower's 3-petal footprint is not merely aesthetic, it is a critical aerodynamic feature designed to shed wind vortices and reduce structural sway at extreme altitudes. The tower's 3-winged buttressed core design works like a 3-legged stool, exceptionally stable and self-bracing. It's a very efficient system. The triangle works in ways to deflect the forces from 1 or 2 sides. It doesn't have the same effect as a square, where there's a broad side on the square or a rectangle. As wind hits the building, the aerodynamic shape breaks up vortices before they can cause dangerous swaying. The foundation is a massive hybrid piled raft system, featuring a 5-meter thick concrete pad over 7,500 square meters, anchored by 270 deep bored piles, extending up to 110 meters into limestone and coral rock. It's hybrid because the pressure is taken on by both the piles, about 70%, and raft base, about 30%. The engineers made a radical decision. In the higher sections, concrete gives way to steel. The tower's upper section, including a massive 350-meter ornamental spire and the world's highest observation deck, will be constructed from steel. This eliminates the bottleneck of pumping at extreme heights, speeds up the assembly of the upper floors, and reduces the structure's own weight. Since construction resumed in January 2025, the tower's structure has risen at a remarkable pace. By December 2025, the tower had surpassed 80 floors. As of early 2026, it stands at 85 floors and rising, with teams adding approximately a new floor every 4 to 5 days. At this pace, the tower is targeting a 2028 completion date. As the first human-made structure to reach 1 kilometer in height, the design of Jeddah Tower is truly a pioneering engineering achievement. Plans call for the world's highest observation deck, a 500-square-meter outdoor terrace, approximately 640 to 650 meters above grade. The exact height will only be confirmed upon completion, a deliberate secret kept to prevent rival projects from designing around it. The terrace will cantilever 30 meters from the tower. High-speed elevators will whisk visitors to the top in under 2 minutes. 2 minutes to travel a full kilometer straight up. From the observation deck, visitors will see 120 kilometers to the horizon, the curvature of the Earth visible from inside a building. The world's most complex building achieves stability through radical simplicity. A structure of this size doesn't conquer the wind through brute force. It learns to coexist with it. The building must move 2 meters to survive. Rigidity would destroy it. If Jeddah Tower proves a kilometer is possible, a 2-kilometer tower is already being planned. The $5 billion Rise Tower in Riyadh is expected to be the first to reach 2 kilometers, 6,562 feet in height. The race upward has only begun. If this story made you think, hit the bell to get notified when we publish. And if you have thoughts or know of another mega project we should cover, drop a comment below. Thanks for watching.